Hi, everybody. Radio Free Mormon here. This is Mormonism After Dark. And I must say, it is a beautiful night tonight. Mormonism After Dark, where all the cool cats hang out at the end of a long week to sit back, relax, and deconstruct with family and friends. Welcome to the Post-Mormon Lounge. And here I am, Radio Free Mormon. And guess what? I have a special host, a co-host with me tonight, who is on the thumbnail. This is the thumbnail, and this is the co-host. It's Summur Rayn-Berrett. How are you doing?
Doing fantastic. How are you doing?
It is so great to see you. I was asking you before the show started, and I wanted to ask you again in front of the world. How is it that you can distance yourself from the Mormon church and still have the light of Christ in your eyes so much?
Listen, I don't know. I think it's in my DNA. That Christ is just in my DNA, that I can distance from the Mormon church and still have that light of Christ.
Well, it's an amazing thing. And I think you better be careful because someone might find out about it and decide to do something about it. Me, it's obvious. There's no light of Christ in my eyes. You see, there it is. It's just all bubbly and effervescent. It's so great to have you on the show. By the way, I don't think I've had to redo a thumbnail more times than I did on this thumbnail. And the reason why is because of me, basically. Well, part of it was you. I asked you to send me a photo, and you did, and I did it. And then you said, hey, I want to look like a cartoon character like you too.
I did.
And how do you do that? I said, I don't know. I didn't do it. Someone else did it. And you said, I'll do one. And then you sent me those, a couple of those. So I said, okay, I'll put that one on. So that's the first change. And then there was an issue with your name.
My name, yes.
Which apparently you kept changing every 5 minutes just to confuse me. No, it's Summur Rayn-Berrett. I actually knew how to spell it. I got the spelling correct.
You got the spelling down. It was just that hyphen.
The problem was the hyphen. I had the hyphen in the wrong place. It's Summur Rayn-Berrett, not Summur Rayn-Berrett.
Yes. Yes.
But no matter how you spell it or hyphenate it, it's great to have you on the show, Summur.
It is great to be here. I'm so excited.
Well, it's a very, very important day, as you know. In church history, it's May 15th. And on this day, across the world, the church is celebrating the restoration of the priesthood.
Of the priesthood, yes.
Because it was on May 15th, 1829, that John the Baptist, after a long hibernation, came forward to bestow and restore the Aaronic priesthood on the heads of Joseph Smith and Oliver Cowdery. On the banks of the Susquehanna River. Sorry.
I think Oliver Cowdery didn't remember that, right? Joseph Smith remembers it, but somebody was like, I didn't know that they came down.
These stories seem to have developed over time. You're right.
Yeah.
But when I joined the church, it's 2026. Tonight is May 15th, 2026. We are in the 250th year of the United States existence as a nation. I understand It's called the semi-quincentennial.
Yes.
Which is half of a 500. Boy, that's not difficult. But in 1980, the church was celebrating the 150th. Mm-hmm. The church, not the nation. Yes. The church was celebrating, and that was. Do you remember what that was called? That was a mouthful too.
I don't remember. I remember it was very long.
Sesquicentennial.
Wow. Yes.
But all I'm trying to say is that back in 1976, 50 years ago, I was 16 years old. I'm 2 years from joining the church. But 50 years ago, on this date, there were two reasons, Summur, that you could not hold the priesthood. Mm-hmm. 50 years ago. And today, there's only one reason. So I call that progress.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Now, you were aware, I'm sure, probably as much as I was, that every year would come around to be May 15th and the young men would be doing something to commemorate the priesthood. And it wasn't just the Aaronic priesthood. That was usually the young men who were doing it or doing the commemorating. But the Melchizedek priesthood got stuck in there as well. It's just that we don't have a date associated with the restoration of the Melchizedek priesthood by Peter, James, and John. So it all got put together. Now, I'm just wondering, did you have any particular feelings when that subject would come up every year?
So what's interesting is on the East Coast, I was raised on the East Coast. They did not talk about it. I mean, it was understood that there was a priesthood restoration at some point, but it was not really talked about. What was talked about more is that, everybody has the priesthood now. So it wasn't, and I don't know if that's because it's a subject that they didn't want to discuss once a year, right? Um, I have talked and heard more about the priesthood living in Utah than anywhere else. So it's very interesting because that was not a topic they really talked about was, oh, the priesthood was restored. It was kind of already known. And they really didn't discuss the priesthood at all. But I do like to let people know when we talk about this, it wasn't just a priesthood ban, it was a temple ban. Black women were not sealed in the temple. So this was not just Black men, which it was a big deal, but families were not allowed to be sealed for generations upon generations until they lifted the temple ban, is what I like to call it.
Mm-hmm.
So my particular feelings, I remember here in Utah when they decided to discuss this. This was about a year and a half ago, or 2 years ago. 2 years ago, they did bring it up in class in Relief Society, and they were talking about what would it feel like to not have the priesthood. That was the discussion they wanted to have in Relief Society. They said, today it was restored. Let's talk about what it would be like to not have it. And
In the church? Do they mean
church,
not? What would it be like
to
to
not
not have the
have the
men have it?
priesthood, to not have the priesthood, to not have had it be restored,
Okay, for
and
the men
to
not to
have
have it. Got it.
households that do not have the priesthood. And I found it very tone deaf because, and I'm one of those that always raises my hand. And I said, I don't have to imagine it. I know what it would have been like for my, don't laugh. Don't laugh.
No, I'm sorry. It's just so spot on.
It wasn't meant to be a troublemaker but I said,
Mm-hmm.
I know what it would feel like. My lineage, my genealogy is who would have felt it. And I think they kind of realized then, what that question is asking.
Mm-hmm.
But it, yeah, I mean, I personally believe the priesthood is something that um, it is man-made. I think that it's a name, right, that's brought up. But I do think that when people believe in something strong enough, things happen, period. And I think that's why we hear more of the death march stories in general conference. But then when I talk to my own friends and family, they'll say, oh no, this miraculous thing happened. Well, I think it's because they have faith and they're able to draw onto something. So for me at this point, I find it interesting that we discuss the priesthood the way that we do, and we kind of gloss over that there was a group of people that literally were told, you're not, God doesn't accept you. And there are still people in the church that are being told God doesn't accept you. I think we're
Mm-hmm.
going to talk about that in a little bit.
Okay, so everybody, I should make a couple of precatory remarks about the fact that we've got Summer here, and I'm here, and she's tonight's special co-host, and she's brought a few things that she wants to talk about and show. Then we're going to open it up for people to join in, and we'll allow them come in one at a time, like we've been doing in the past couple weeks, and hopefully this is starting to become sort of a routine that I won't have to announce every time. But that's what we're going to try and give it a go on. Okay, so let me bring up the slideshow because Summer has given us some slides. And do
Are
you
we
want me
going to
to?
introduce our new superhero? right off the bat.
Oh, is that that is the first slide, isn't it? Okay, you do whatever you want. Are you able to advance the slides, or do you just need to
I
ask me?
cannot, but that's okay.
Just tell
I'm
me or go
just,
beep or something.
I'm excited that I got the ability to even know how to upload these slides due to an amazing person, RFM, earlier today that walked me through how to upload Google Slides because I'm a Zoom girl. So I
And you
think
did
we
great.
got
You did great. I went back and checked your work. That's how I knew what was coming.
it. So,
Okay, so here's the next slide. Ready? Here we go. You want to introduce the hero of the month?
the hero of the month
Yes.
is somebody that I think deserves this title. We have created, I think that nobody has ever bestowed this upon him. I hope that he likes it, but I personally will not be saying his name because I know that he likes to search for himself, and all press is good press. So I have let RFM know that
Yes.
this is how I am going to refer to him from now on.
And here we go. Yes, I can hear a drum roll there.
Cloud Chaser.
Why,
There's
dude,
no
that name's
level
so
of
good.
clout.
Some people call him short stack around here.
Yeah, well, there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of words that I've heard him be called.
Yes.
Tonight he will be called Clout Chaser, CC. And this is who he is. And we have a few slides and a few things to discuss with this guy.
Next slide. By the way, did you do this yourself?
I can't do, let me see if I can do this,
Okay.
the thing. Bye, Debbie.
If you can, you'll take your cursor over the slide and it will show you an arrow right, arrow left, and it will identify it as slide 2 just at the bottom of it.
No, I'm not seeing that.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm seeing
I don't know how to do
present.
the Bill magic.
Is there
but you
present? I'm seeing present. Should I press that?
I I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay.
I have no idea what's going to happen if you press that button.
Okay.
If you want to
Sounds
press it, if you
good.
want to take that upon yourself. But
No,
present?
I
Oh,
don't
present.
really want to.
Oh, that's
I
down
might.
below. That's way down below. I'm just talking about on the slide itself, at the bottom of the slide as it appears on the stage.
Okay, hold on really fast. Maybe I can see it. Oh gosh, I just made him large on my own screen. I didn't want to do that.
I'm not going there, even on Mormonism After Dark. Nice try, Summur. Is this the next slide you wanted to talk about?
This is the next slide. This is the next slide. I think that was like the 4th slide, but we're good.
Oh, hang on. Just so you know, this was the slide right before,
Right.
and this is the next slide. So,
Okay, this works. So we have CC, Clout Chaser, who has friends and family who have left the church. He is what they call an apologetic. I do not think that that is a good name. I think apologetics actually uses the doctrine and actually stands by what the church preaches and apologizes for it. CC does not do that. He conflates, he deflects, he does not answer anything directly. So this popped up. RFM, Bill, and Rebecca are doing a post-Mormon celebration cruise, which I was going to be part of.
then you weren't, and everybody
then
was
I
excited, and then they were sad.
Yes, I'm so sad that I'm not gonna be able to go, but my kids are going back to school and all that crazy stuff. So I wasn't able to
Bring them
come.
on the cruise.
I can, yeah, so they can do, I mean, they're not gonna get spiritually fed, apparently.
I will take
Um,
full responsibility for tutoring them.
you know what? I would appreciate that. Maybe let me see what the prices look like. I mean, we might have three little kids on there, but no, all jokes aside, it's going to be an amazing time. I'm just going to put a quick plug in. It's going to be amazing. No lectures, no seminars, anything like that. But you guys are going to meet as a group for one time, and then you can do whatever you want. But it really is a celebration of where everybody is right now. Everybody's in a different place when it comes to this, but we all are on this journey together. And I say journey because apparently it is not really a journey worth discussing unless you're going to the same destination that CC is going to, Clout Chaser. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to go to any destination that Clout Chaser is going to be. That's not my idea of a good time. And I wanted to put this up here because it kind of, to me, symbolizes where a lot of these apologetics people, which again, I don't think he's an apologist, I think he's a grifter, but a lot of these apologists go where it is, if it's not one way, it is the wrong way. And unfortunately, the church, that's kind of how we're raised to say, this is the one and true church. But I was raised under a Hinckley Monson type of model, which it was kind of being kind, right? And read your Book of Mormon, but be nice to everybody. You're peculiar people. That is not what I'm seeing anymore. I am seeing a crazy amount of nastiness from this younger, I'll say younger, he's probably about my age, generation of
Well, you're pretty young.
apologists.
You look pretty young to me anyway.
Thank you. But I just, it's very, very interesting that, and again, in the chat, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this, because I was a Hinckley Monson. I used to take notes at General Conference. And even though looking back, there were some things that were not true, it was always said kindly, right? Whereas this fire brimstone kind of Boyd K. Packer thought process was underlying, but you were not outspoken about it. And I'm going to lump word radio in there. There's just people that are just not being nice in this space. So this was what he had said. He said, Exmos like to talk about their journey, but a journey has a meaningful destination. Wandering is not the same as being on a journey. Telling people to go wherever they want, as if all paths are equally good or valid, is the definition of wandering. Somewhere deep down, they know this. And somewhere deep down, they know they have a thirst they can't quench. So I sent this RFM.
Because that's a description of everybody who's ever gone on a cruise.
Okay.
Apparently. He knows all this because we're going on a freaking cruise.
We're going on a cruise. And apparently, wandering is not a journey. I mean, it's so convoluted. It's so condescending. I said some words I'm not going to repeat when I sent this to RFM and sent him the text. But it was interesting because somebody else was talking about it. And his response was, on our cruise, you get spiritually fed. On theirs, you get a hangover and maybe an STD. And I just found that to be so nasty, especially given he has family and friends who have left the church.
All of his family. At least all of his brothers and sisters,
all of his brothers
my understanding.
And sisters, all his siblings. I don't know about his, his parents and cousins and stuff. But this is, it's nasty. It just isn't necessary.
No, it's not.
Right?
You're right. You're right.
So, and I want to just put the reason why he has gotten this name of Clout Chaser is because he cannot stand not commenting on something. This has nothing to do with him. He has his own cruises. He has people pay, right?
And actually, 3 years ago, just 3 years ago, he's on record as saying he doesn't think much of cruises. He thinks those are bad things and that people shouldn't be going on cruises. Then he got asked to go on a cruise. He changed his mind. He went on a cruise, and now he's down on our cruise.
Yeah. Now, but he has a destination apparently. And what I wanted to say was just, if this is spiritually fed, right? If this is the cream of the crop, if this is Christ's church, to be this judgmental, this condescending, I don't think you're going to bring people in.
Well, you know, I think
You're not gonna do it.
maybe Jesus was kind of a dick.
Maybe,
And
I
Jacob
mean,
actually is being Christ-like. Wouldn't that
may-
be?
may- listen, though, and we're gonna get in. We have some slides, but the way that he has changed what Mormonism is, what Jesus stands for, who God is, because I
Mhm.
guess God was always um, a, a God, but not, and descent. The way that he has changed, maybe Jesus is different than the Jesus I grew up with. Maybe there's another one, because the way that this guy cannot answer a question, cannot just say, this is what I believe. It's incredible. And that's not how I was raised. I was raised in the church from 3 years old on, and you knew what you believed. This is what we believed. So anyway, that was my little TED talk.
Well,
Oh,
at a minimum, I think we can be sure that Jacob's Jesus has a rapidly receding hairline.
so I did want to put this addendum very
And yes,
quickly.
I know glass houses. Thank you very much. It's just not
No,
rapidly anymore.
no, that's not what I was gonna say.
Okay.
I do want to say this.
Oh, did you want me to go here or you
Oh,
want to say something else?
you can go there, but don't press it yet.
Okay.
um Colby Reddish is the rando, right? He is the
Hmm.
rando. So I'm like rando times 1,000. Nobody knows me, no one cares. But I do know that Clout Chaser has he loves to harass women who say things he does not like. I want to quote one of my favorite doctors and let Clout Chaser know I am his huckleberry.
Mm,
I am your huckleberry. Harass me. Okay. One thing that I do not abide is
mm,
bullying.
mm,
If you want to contact my stake president, if you want to contact my bishop, it is so easy to find me. Clout Chaser, you know, I work for my father. I'm very open about that. Representative Burgess Owens, it is very easy to find me. If you want to send me a text, you want to send my bishop an email, let's do it. I am the 1, the 2, and the 3. So I wanted to put that out there because I know he doesn't really like when women say things. This segment is going to be about you and your grifter status, that you are morally bankrupt. And yeah, reach out.
well, you'll be glad to know that last night he went on what is it's a porch time. They were talking about a subject that I had some interest in, and then in the middle of the subject I had some interest in, who should appear but Jacob Hansen, who's driving someplace, I think to an ice cream parlor where he may or may not have a full-time position at present. But anyway, he's on the show, and you'll be glad to know that he's decided that the next person in his target is, yes, a woman. And no, it's not you, it's Britt Hartley. He says he's going after her
Really?
next. Yes.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I want to be part of that club. Okay?
Okay.
Jacob, bring it. I am not kidding. I'm not kidding. I'm one of those people. I live in Utah. I am not from Utah. I am a New Yorker through and through. And yes, I enjoy being the object of people's affection because I turn that energy right back on them.
Mm.
I have all the time in the world for bullies. Um,
Well, if you want to get his attention on you, just start spouting things about secular spirituality. It's the
oh,
secular and the spirituality together that really, really grinds his gears. It just drives him crazy, you
yeah.
know. And I
Well,
think, wow, that's what makes you upset. That's what gets you passionate is secular spirituality. And he thinks that's a contradiction in terms, so he thinks he has to destroy it.
secular spirituality. Well, I think me just being a woman will get his attention. Again, I won't be saying his name, so it will have to go from a friend to a friend to a friend that he can come up on here and whatever. But again, my name is in the title, Summur Rayn-Berrett. I work for my father, Representative Burgess Owens. I am very easily found. Reach out and touch somebody. I
Anthony's a good
am the
lawyer.
one. I am the one. I would love, because again, when I become the object of someone's affection, I give the energy right back. So I just wanted to put that out there in case. And Britt, I love you. Julie, I love you. You women are phenomenal and amazing. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there, RFM, just so he knows.
Very, very good. Thank you. By the way, on Short Stack or CC, or I think he's going to the Clout Chaser Kingdom. That's one of those kingdoms that doesn't get mentioned a lot in section.
Well, it's the highest level within the highest level of the celestial kingdom.
I think you're right, because there's no way he's going to anything less than that. Do you want to introduce this clip? This was from his debate / conversation / getting his ass kicked by Ali Stuckey. And there's something on there, and I didn't cover this when I went over it. This is something else that has to do with, well, why don't you tell us? Go ahead, introduce it for us, and I'll play it once you're ready.
So this, if anybody wants to watch this, it was amazing. I do believe, I know Cloud Chaser was out there saying that he didn't know this was going to be a debate. He thought it was going to be a conversation. RFM and
Yes, he didn't know he was going to have to try it. What difference does it make? He wasn't telling the truth.
Any difference. But, and if you guys want to watch it, you can watch it directly and watch the recap RFM and Colby Reddish did. They did a phenomenal job.
It was fun.
But I do believe that she probably came in saying, I'd love to have a conversation about your beliefs. And halfway through realized that he was not going to stand by his beliefs.
No.
Which infuriated me. And I'm not a Calvinist. So it's interesting because I, as you know, growing up LDS, I know all of these things, and it's a simple yes or no. He would not give a yes or no answer. And so I put this clip in. If anybody hasn't seen it, I don't like watching him. Even his voice grates on me, but this was fantastic. I actually texted you, RFM, and said, did you watch this yet? And you said, Colby and I are going to be doing a recap. I don't know if you remember that, but you said, yeah.
Yes, and this one didn't make it into the recap because in formulating that recap, what I was looking for were the places where he is misrepresenting Mormonism. And maybe I didn't catch this one, but let's see what this is about, okay?
Here we go.
As man now is, God once was. As God now is, man may be. That I know that's not in the Book of Mormon. That's just a little maxim that an LDS president came up with. As God was, so we are. So God himself was like us and ascended to being God.
I always thought the whole premise of the Christian message was that God once became a man.
Well, yes, but we're talking before the incarnation.
Yeah, and there are people that hold to that view. So the question here is, you know, was God the Father once a man? There's nothing in our scriptures that, as you pointed out, that said that. You have to separate the realm, and this is what a lot of people do when dealing with LDS. They look at sort of theology that has been held even by presidents of our church.
Who are considered prophets.
Correct. But we don't hold to prophetic inerrancy. Okay. So we don't believe that everything that a prophet ever said was right, because, you know, we could even look to, you know, Peter, who very clearly was of the opinion that the works of the law of Moses were still necessary even after Jesus Christ. He even believed that people couldn't eat pork, for example, after the death of Jesus Christ. It wasn't until God came and revealed something to him and gave him greater light and knowledge that that teaching was corrected. So I would look at it as, you have to recognize that there's a realm of that which has been revealed by God through his prophets. And those are generally where I go. And so there is a discussion amongst Latter-day Saints, just like there's discussions among many different Christian groups on different subjects, about the nature of the Father into eternity past.
Nobody talks about that in other Christian circles. It's a given.
No. And there's another clip. I didn't clip it, but if you keep going, she brings back and says, if you are making prophecies and saying you're a prophet and it doesn't come true, that's not really a prophet.
Right.
But
it is for him. because he has to redefine Mormon prophets that way. Otherwise, he knows he'll get his ass kicked. But he's
Well,
kicking his own ass. That's the problem.
but that's the thing. That's the thing. And somebody wrote in in a comment somewhere. Oh gosh, I forget who it was. But they said, it's not your fault. It's the church's because you're trying to defend something that is not defensible, right? And so
Well, he's not, because he's not defending Mormonism. He's defending
well,
something else.
that's why I put this clip in. I wanted to have a discussion about this thought of God, as God was, man is, and how God is, man will become. Is
Mhm.
that I think that's the way it's said.
Yeah.
That was literally how I grew up. There was no questions about it.
Mhm.
God went through the same thing we're going through, and we can become like him once we get through this earth. This is why we're here, to get a body and to be tested, right? I wasn't a missionary,
Always.
but that's what we were taught.
Yes.
So
Over and over and over again. There's no way anybody's ever going to forget that that's what we were taught until everybody
until
dies
now.
who was taught that.
Well, and I'm not even going to get into the planets and all that, but I texted you earlier, I talked to you earlier today, because I'm confused where this changed to. And I wanted to
Where
hear,
it changed to?
well, now they're saying that's not what we believe.
Okay, there's the outward facing voice of Mormonism, and then there's the inward facing. In other words, we
Yes.
speak to the outside people versus
Yes.
speaking to the people in the house, in the Mormon
Yes.
house, in the church, of the members. And what they're saying to the outside people is different than what they're saying to the inside members. And
Of
I think it's
course.
been that way for a long time. But they're still saying to the outside world, no, you don't get a planet. And no, there's nothing in the scriptures about God ever, being a man. It's just Joseph Smith taught it in his most influential and important doctrinal sermon given shortly before the end of his life, known as the
Mhm.
King Follett Discourse. So, I mean, my gosh, that plus the sermon at the Grove, which was even later, you put those two together, the obvious direct understanding of what Joseph Smith was saying is that God was once a man. Okay. And in fact, the story is that when Wilford Woodruff came to him, I believe it was as a young man, Wilford
Mhm.
Woodruff, and told Joseph Smith he'd had this impression. He thinks it's from God, and he tells it to Joseph Smith. And Joseph Smith says, "By George, I think she's got it." And then that becomes part of Mormonism. And it is to this day, at least in the halls of Mormonism. But to the outside world, we say different. And that's because there's a part of us that knows it makes us look kind of kooky.
Well,
And so we
peculiar,
don't want to have to defend it.
right?
I'm sorry.
We're a peculiar people, but
Yes. But we
now
don't want to be a kooky people.
everybody in the chat is going to see a real hot take of RFM seeing what Mormons are now saying, or Latter-day Saints are saying, within their own walls. And this is from Apologia Radio,
Yes.
because I cannot give these Ward Radio guys a view. I'm sorry. So what I do want to say before we watch this
Yes.
is towards the end of the clip, they start to put up quotes. Those quotes were added by Apologia. It is not during the discussion that Word Radio is having. Okay, so
Okay, so Apologia, this is a clip from Apologia. They're going to play a clip from Ward Radio in which Jonah Barnes is going to be speaking. He is the
Yes.
giant philtrum.
Yes.
He'll be speaking about the fact that actually, no, this is what was taught. See, this is the problem that they get, is every now and then somebody gets an honest hair up their arse and they actually say the way things have been, as opposed to the way they're supposed to say, which is it's always been important, the height of the temple on the spire. That's always been critical to worshiping God in Mormonism. And then someone comes along like what's his name? Jonah Barnes.
Oh, Jonah Barnes, yeah.
Yes, Jonah Barnes. And for whatever reason, he says, well, no, actually, that's not the way it happened. And everybody's looking at him saying, well, I'm sorry, you're wrong, because this is not the message we want to put forward.
Are you
now.
not getting the marching orders? Yeah. And I've got to give it to Jonah. He, I appreciate the integrity and honesty that he gives here, because he does not want to concede anything. But I'm excited for the chat to see RFM in real time, seeing what they are saying within the walls now
Mhm.
of the LDS Church.
Okay, so let's see. Here we go.
Here you go.
I'm going to push back a little bit on something that you said, because look, I know that anti-Mormons are absolutely crazy and toxic, and I don't want to ever be caught defending them. However,
Thank God.
I think their concern is legitimate, because the majority of members of the church and all the apostles and all the prophets since the beginning of the Restoration, I believe, have manifestly, overtly, publicly taught the infinite regress of gods.
That's false for my survey.
Yeah, well, I think you're wrong, because I didn't even realize there was another option. I mean, I grew up in the church.
What you're asserting is an empirical issue. What you're asserting is an empirical issue that's demonstrated by taking a poll that's reliable, and you haven't done that, so you don't know what percentage of church members hold that belief.
Touche. Neither have you.
I haven't, but I'm not making the assertion that the majority of church members believe something, am I? You are. Moreover, and here's the bottom line, the church hasn't, in general conference, in the past 50 years, really hasn't addressed this issue at all.
Well, prior to 50 years, did they address the issue?
And they do. Some of them held different views. This is not a cut and dried issue, and
look, I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm trying to help you. If you tell our critics or historians and say, "Oh, no, infinite regress is some fringe thing that has never been official doctrine," they're gonna rightfully say you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
This is all
it's official doctrine. I'm not wrong. It's not official doctrine.
No, and I'm not saying it's I'm not saying it's official doctrine. But it really sounds like trying to distance oneself from the teachings of our historical leaders.
I'm distancing myself from an interpretation and an understanding that I don't think is an accurate best take on what is actually
and that's
stated.
totally fair. That's totally fair to say I interpret these things differently. But you got to be able to understand when the antis say, hold on a minute. All these statements, all these pages, and all these sermons from all these leaders all the way up into the 1970s, all sound like they're teaching this doctrine. You can't just ignore that, right? That's what they're going to say.
I can ignore that.
But it wasn't taught that way. I mean, you haven't really had it fully addressed.
It wasn't taught that way.
In this way since Brigham Young. I mean, there hasn't been an explicit take on this to make sense of it from a prophet while being prophet. And I mean, look at what happened in the 1990s when President Hinckley was asked about this doctrine. Okay. He said, I don't think we know much about that. That was his actual answer.
Right.
And so when we're actually dealing with this.
Aaron,
actually, it wasn't the exact same doctrine. It was simply whether God had been a man, not infinite regression. And he didn't say that. He said, I'm not sure that we talk about it very much. I'm not sure that we emphasize it.
Yeah.
He says, and he did says, I don't know that we understand that. I'm not sure anybody understands that, which means I don't want to talk about it because it's embarrassing. When the prophet and president of your own church is embarrassed to talk publicly about what you really believe, maybe you've got a problem. And a lot of people, when they saw that, who are members of the church, felt that inside, and I was one of them.
Yeah. Well, that's what's interesting is when you were talking about there's things that we say forward facing and there's things that we say within the club. There were a lot of things that actually President Hinckley talked about in that interview. That was a wink, wink. You know, we don't discuss that outside.
Right.
And to be fair, looking back now, I see now why apologists do what they do, because if you've got the prophet saying, well, you don't have to be completely honest on these things, because it's more important to save the church from embarrassment or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if a prophet's doing that, then a lowly cloud chaser could absolutely just twist things around. Because
the appearance.
Oh, go ahead. No.
I was just saying, Mormonism teaches us that the appearance of the church is much more important than the reality.
Absolutely. Which is why all these child sex abuse scandals are happening, because it does not matter about protecting the children and stopping the abuse. It's about the reputation. And so, yes, this is why when I called you earlier, I said I've never even heard of infinite regression. And you said that you had heard it. I have never heard of that before. And if you can go back.
Well, Summur, you certainly, okay, I don't know what you've heard and what you haven't. I mean, you said East Coast Mormonism was way different than Utah. I'm neither. I'm West Coast, Northwest.
Oh, so you're like.
Yeah, we got the true Mormonism up here. But I don't know about the term infinite regression, but the idea is this, is that God, the Father, once lived on an earth, and he was a human being like us, and he advanced, and he became God, died, resurrected. He was a good Mormon. Same thing. Got married in the temple. We know the whole thing. Now, did you ever hear that he had a God?
Yes, because that was the whole, it heard that he had a God. So we have like a grandfather who would be like a great, and then there's a great grandfather. It just goes on and on.
That's the infinite regression right there. That's what it's talking about.
So I never heard the terminology, that term before.
Right. They're turtles all the way down.
That's, and you get into, they would say, well, we don't really get into it enough, like, because then you start to say, wait, do we have a great grandfather? And they say, well, don't go that far back. Like, let's not keep going. But this is what it is. And this is what we can become.
Having actually read some of Blake's Shalak, Blake Ostler, he at the time, at any rate, that he wrote this book, was of the opinion that God was once a man who became a God, but he doesn't have a God. That's where it ends. There is no eternal regression. He ends it, I think, what would you call it? It's not gratuitously, but just because that's where he chooses. There's no reason to end it there, but he wants to end it there because he sees more problems in defending an infinite regression of God's than just stopping it right there.
So I should have taken a screenshot of that last text. The last thing that popped up on that video. Could we go back to the last thing that popped up?
I just want to say that Asti Destry Rides Again says, the doctrine is totally consistent. Steeple height is essential to temple worship if and only if you're in a country where believing that helps a lawsuit. Yep. If you believe that, then it helps a lawsuit. And you're a country like that, that's when it happens. Yep. Totally true.
I think he's making a reference to the fact that there are temples that don't have steeples.
Yes, like Vienna. That is one ugly temple, I got to tell you. It's like a mausoleum.
My favorite is
kind of like mausoleums, even with a spire.
My favorite is Laie, and it doesn't have a steeple. Laie Temple in Hawaii.
Yes, actually, that's your favorite?
That's my favorite. I actually wanted to get sealed in that temple.
And that didn't happen.
I ended up at Bountiful.
It's quite a difference.
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
Did you at least have ladies
close
at the
your
wedding?
eyes, it's the same. When you close your eyes,
you had ladies at the wedding.
Yeah.
I want to pronounce that carefully. Okay. So anyway, is this the one you're talking about?
No, it's the Apologia, and it's towards the end.
Toward the end of what it was that we played, or something?
Yes,
some other end.
the end of what we played.
Okay.
So we'll just kind of scroll to the end, and the very last thing that they popped up was actually a comment that was happening within Ward Radio.
Yeah, I think I saw one that referenced.
I'm going to push back a little bit on something that you said, because look, I know that
you're going to believe something, am I? You are. Moreover, and here's the bottom line: the church hasn't, in general conference, in the past 50 years, really hasn't addressed this issue at all.
So prior to 50 years, did they address the issue?
Yeah, they do. Some of them held different views.
Keep going.
This is not a cut and dried issue, and they held
but look, I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm trying to help you. If you tell our critics or historians and say, no, infinite regress is some
the end.
Yes. Okay. And the whole thing here is, I'm not sure what the end is of your clip.
Right.
And I can't find it. So
do you see
we're very close to it. I think I know what you're talking about.
Has never been official doctrine.
Things where it puts that big thing right up in front of
them. They're going to rightfully say, you're wrong. This is all
it's official doctrine. I'm not wrong. It's not official doctrine.
No, and I'm not saying it's I'm not saying it's official doctrine. But it really sounds like trying to distance oneself from the teachings of our historical leaders.
I'm distancing myself from an interpretation and an understanding that I don't think is.
That's it.
Yes.
Okay. And the person within the comments said, I'm with Jonah. I didn't even know there were other options until I started watching all you apologists and theologians. I didn't know the name infinite regress. That was me. I didn't even know, I've never heard of that before, but I've always heard that taught in church as doctrine. And Jonah says philosophies of men. So he is saying pretty much that trying to now reconstruct that this was never a thing is philosophies of men.
You know, based on what he says here in this video, and you may have just said the same thing because I was trying to think what it was he meant by that. It would make sense to me if he's saying philosophies of men are the ideas, the other options that people have tried to come up with. That's what you said?
That's it.
That's what makes sense to me too.
He didn't expound on it, but I wanted to point out there is some internal stuff happening because the church has been very strong on things in the past, and you can only gaslight so much. There's only so much you can say, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, garments was never about modesty. There's only so much, because when you start to get into certain things, people say, no. I was promised this within the church. And that's what's happening. So what are your thoughts on that?
I think that's what he's saying. And I think I've given all my thoughts along the way for whatever they were worth. But he had a sudden attack of honesty, and it got him in trouble with Blake Ostler, who's the smartest guy in every room he enters. We all know people like that, don't we, Blake? Oh, we know people like that. Yeah, we know that. Okay, so that was it. But we are at 46 minutes, and I want to start getting people in here. There was another slide that you had mentioned, and I want you to tell us about that slide.
Yeah, we can skip it. And people, when you want to call in, if you want to talk about this was more just about Charlie Bird, BYU mascot, very vocal member of the church. He is gay. He got married to his husband, not the temple, but got married to his husband, still takes sacrament. That was a big controversial thing, holds callings in his ward. And they just came out and said that they are going to start a family. They're going to do IVF and have a family. And so there's a lot of discussion happening within faithful Mormon circles, right? Because this goes completely against the family proclamation. And yeah, we can discuss that. But that was my, I find people, this is nothing personal. I've never met Charlie, but I find people like Charlie to be somewhat dangerous because they make it seem like communities that are marginalized within institutions are safe. And it's not fair because he has a particular privilege of being able to live the way that he's living, but he doesn't recognize that privilege. So anyway.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to put the StreamYard link, which I now have pasted here. I'm going to put it in the live chat, everybody. In order to come on the show, you actually have to come in via the live chat. So if you're not in the live chat, please get in the live chat. And I'll put these links up periodically. It's the same link to come into the show. You click it, you come in, I let you on the screen eventually, and come in. Let's talk about things with Summur and RFM. And there it goes. There it is. There's the StreamYard link.
Ooh.
It just went up. People are scrambling right now. If you're number 7 in the studio, you get a special prize.
I would love for Debbie to join.
You would?
Did she leave? Yes.
I have
There
no
was
idea.
a wonderful, lovely Debbie earlier that had a lot to say about the priesthood and how it's not that big a deal that Black people didn't have it.
What?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, that was earlier in the chat. I would love, Debbie, if you're still there, please call.
Okay.
We can have a conversation.
Well, Laura's here. It's not Debbie.
It's not Debbie, but we're so excited to have Laura.
Summur Rayn, you're fantastic. Debbie, I have seen her on another program, Latter Daily Digest, Tuesdays with Tim. She's usually drunk, but as I wrote in the chat, being drunk does not make you racist. Mental illness does not make you racist. And I think it was purely racism. And I'm sorry, maybe I'm off. I don't want to accuse people of racism, but personally, that's all that I saw there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
no,
I
it was
haven't seen
racism.
what you're talking about, Laura.
You'll see it
Summer.
later, but no, it
I would
was
like to hope.
racism.
I always try and think the best of people, and I know that sometimes some people might say something like that because they're coming from the point of view that the priesthood isn't real. So you're better off
She
not being
was
deluded
saying,
into having something
she
that
said,
doesn't exist.
she said, oh, boo-hoo, you weren't accepted by the cult you joined. Imagine being born into it. And then she made another comment. It was, I do believe it was racism. It wasn't just, how can you have any affiliation with it, which is already rude and unacceptable. Don't join the live chat if you don't like the person here. Keep your mouth closed or your hands away. I'm sorry, it pissed me off.
Okay, I want us all to send out positive vibes to the universe and to Debbie because this is what Jesus would do.
Jesus was awesome. Whether or not he was real, Jesus was awesome.
He was okay. He's all right by me.
Summur Rayn, I'm sorry you had to see that.
Oh,
So
no,
I'm sorry you had to see that.
Listen, I've seen and heard worse. Those are the kind of people, again, I am all about it. I'm like, listen, don't hide behind a screen. Give a call. Like, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. So yeah, I appreciate, Laura, so much that you didn't want me to have to see all that, but I saw it briefly. And I said goodbye to her, but I do, if she's still on, I would love for her to call in and say it with her chest.
She'll say it with the slur, I guarantee you.
with a drunken slur.
Yes.
I really appreciate that, Laura.
Yeah, thanks, Laura. Laura, did you have any thoughts about anything else that Summur Rayn had talked about?
I did about Charlie Bird. Jacob Hansen, I think you're right on, and Clout Chaser is a wonderful new name for him or nomiker for him. But Charlie Bird in particular, I get what you're saying. I've never been Mormon. I'm gay though. And I do, it took me, and I grew up in a very progressive household and they practiced what they preached. And it still took me until I was 26 to come out.
Wow.
So I'm conflicted with Charlie Bird. I get it. He's almost making it seem safe for gays when they could be facing very real expulsion issues. But
well, they
I
can
think
be.
God,
and there's all sorts of sides to this. Were you going to give another perspective on it, Laura?
God bless him for doing it. If that's his connection to God and he can have it in there, I don't know. I'm not one way or the other on that.
Yeah, there's definitely different sides to the issue, and I know different people have articulated them eloquently on both sides. So it's not something that I'm able to come down hard and fast on. But
I mean, I could say some thoughts because it was a clip that I was going to kind of get into, and I ended up spending way too much time on Clout Chaser. Laura, I am very grateful to hear your story, first and foremost, your experience, because to hear that you grew up in a progressive household but still didn't feel like you could come out until 26 says a lot for those that don't have that support, right? You had some support and you still, for whatever reason, society or whatever, you felt like you had to hold on to that. I'm going to talk about my race, my background. My grandfather grew up in the segregated South, and he always let me know that it wasn't just white supremacy he was fighting against and Jim Crow laws. It was people within his own Black community who were elitists and who did what they could to keep the others down within his own community. I, again, don't have anything against Charlie Bird. Personally, I've never met him. I heard he's a really nice guy. But when you are within an institution that still doesn't see you as an equal, but gives you a little bit of privilege. And for Charlie, it's because he has notoriety. He's the BYU mascot. He knows how to dance. So they give him a little bit of privilege, and he then becomes the token of, this is a safe institution. I can live within this realm, but that's not the experience that other people have. And there are people who are literally unaliving themselves due to the doctrine, due to the teachings of this institution. I find that dangerous.
In a less politically fraught kind of way, Summur, in a less politically fraught kind of way, Jacob thinks of him. I'm sorry, Cloud Chaser.
No,
Jacob thinks of himself as being, no, he thinks of himself as being an attractive form of Mormonism that people will like, because he says people have told him that, Mom. But that's the whole thing. And that's what Psych Ward Radio was doing all the time too. You know, we're the cool guys, we're the hip cats, and
they're repugnant. They're terrible representatives of Christ.
But the thing
and I'm
is
not
that
Christian.
people who do like them, people who are young and dumb, to coin a phrase, and
don't
do
insult
like
the
them,
young.
and they join the church. What? I'm sorry. What, Laura?
Don't insult the young. It's not young and dumb. It's ignorant and happy about it. It's willful ignorance.
That's the name of Kwaku's company, right? Young and dumb. Okay. Hence the to coin a phrase. All I'm saying is that even if they're right, which I think largely they're not, but in some cases I'm sure they are, that there are people, kids mostly, who think they're attractive and they're fun and this is cool and let's go hang out at the Mormon church. The problem is that as soon as they get their foot through the threshold of the Mormon church, they're going to find out it's not like that. They're not having a good time in sacrament meeting.
I think it just is hard for me because, like we talked about in the beginning of this episode, when you are raised to believe, which I wasn't raised, but when you are raised to believe that God does not accept you, who you are, which is what the Black community was told for so long because of Brigham Young, it is hard for me to sit here and say it's okay for somebody to live this fulfilling life and get everything that he's getting, when the institution itself is saying you are not accepted, period. Like you just said, RFM, they'll come to church and expect the same love and acceptance that Charlie is showing and saying that they will get. And
they show up and they find out not everybody is as attractive as Jacob Hansen, believe it or not. And they're shocked. They go, wait a second, you misled me, sir.
Summur Rayn, it was largely...
Just so you know, Laura, go ahead. You keep talking, Laura. I'm bringing Tim in.
Hey, Tim!
Hi, Summur. Hi, Laura.
I'll be really quick. Sorry, Tim.
Laura,
I'll be really quick.
What were you saying, Laura?
It was, I'm sorry. I talk too much.
No.
It was largely the Bible. I remember my mom grabbing it out of my hands and taking it one time. I prayed to God to make me straight. It was largely the Bible. And I wasn't raised with religion. My mom's, not to stereotype, but she's Mexican-Italian immigrant. So they're Catholic. I mean, it's just when you were an immigrant from those countries during that time, you were Catholic.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking God didn't love me. God didn't. So I get that. And I wasn't raised in an institutionalized fashion. So I can understand how it would be so much worse for Mormon gays. Yeah. I don't know. I feel for Charlie, though. I feel like he's in a poor position.
Yeah.
Well, we all are. And these complicated situations arise mainly because the church just doesn't treat everybody equal. Ultimately, that's the source of problem is the church.
Well, it can't, though.
I'm sorry, what?
It can't.
It can't treat people equal?
It can't. No, it can't. Because they're always, within these types of religious institutions, there always has to be what I call othering of people. You have to be able to look at other people and say, I'm doing better than you. I'm looking at me and this, but I'm not you. If you have everyone be equal and everyone is loved equally, the whole institution falls. What do you need them for?
It does sound kind of boring.
It does.
Hey, Tim, what do you think? Does that sound terribly boring to you to have everybody equal?
Does it sound boring that people are equal?
If everybody were equal, does that sound kind of boring to you? Welcome to the island of Pango Pango, where everyone looks like Sonny Bono.
I think it would be, probably be boring if everybody was the
If
same.
everybody looked like Sonny Bono, it would be boring.
It would be very boring. And I love Summur's nickname for clout chaser. That's perfect.
I should copyright it.
You should copyright it. Trademark it. Trademark it.
Trademark it.
Take a page out of the church's
sue.
book.
Yeah, I'll sue
Jacob
when
Hansen would file an
the
objection.
faithful use it.
He would file an objection because that's his name. That's his trademark. Hey, everybody, I'm going to bring Gumo on. Okay, people are starting to, what do you call it? Accumulate.
Oh, no.
Overhead, like planes coming into O'Hare.
And I forgot what today was until you said it at the beginning.
It's May 15th. This is the day we celebrate the restoration.
Yeah, that's yes, but I had forgotten entirely what it was all about. I was kicked out 25 years ago, and I just never kept track. And when you said it tonight, I went, "Oh my God, it's that day! It's time for the father and sons." There's a lot of fathers and sons probably having a camp out right now. That's what I'd be doing with my kids.
Used to.
Used to do. With my kids.
Friday night, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Hey, Gumo.
Hey.
How are you doing?
Hey, Goo.
We want to welcome you and apologize in advance for Tim.
Yes.
Thank you, RFM.
What would you like to say?
I was hoping to show you a little arts and crafts project I did of you, Radio Free Mormon.
And how are you going to do that?
Well, I have it on. I have it prepared. I just don't have my camera on. But once I turn it on, it'll be visible.
Oh.
Okay.
I didn't want it to be too distracting.
It's an arts and craft.
So there's a new game where you can make your own little characters.
I don't think.
And I made you, and I think I did a good job.
No, I think we need to take this back to the drawing board. That doesn't look anything like me, and I appreciate you stop laughing so hard, Sonny.
That looks fantastic. I like it.
Listen, I think you just need a bow tie.
My hair is less partly brownish and more Frankensteinian.
I need some
I see the beard now. What game is that, Gumo?
This is it's called Tomodachi Life. It's like a Sims
game. Yes, yeah, I know that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Yes, Diamond Dave would like to register an objection.
Yes, well, based on the YouTube thumbnails I was looking at, that's not true, Dave, but maybe there's some edits in order.
You know what Tomodachi is? You know what Tomodachi is, baby?
What is it?
You don't? Oh, you don't know? It's Japanese.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. It means it means friend.
Oh.
Friend.
Tomodachi means friend.
Well, does that make you and Gumo friends?
I wish.
That was Laura speaking. Okay, I'm sorry. Laura, no, it does not. In fact, I think we're probably going to be lifelong enemies after tonight.
Oh.
This is heartbreaking.
It's okay. I didn't know you that well.
That's true. That's fair.
Well, Gumo, it's so nice to have been seeing you. I'll be hitting the eject button. That was a huge thing when I was a kid. James Bond, all the spies and everything, and the eject button, on the seat. That was so cool.
That was so funny.
Gumo, thank you very much. I'm going to choose to take
awesome,
that as
Goo.
a compliment. Was there anything else you wanted to tell us, Gumo? After defaming the main host of the show?
I thought that it was, I would have thought it was you, except it was a red shirt. And so I kept kind of looking down and saying, oh, he's not talking. But then I said, oh no, that's Gumo. That's not really RFM.
Yes.
I
Gumo.
Like
rarely has a person been more appropriately named.
Dave,
that was
hey guys.
awesome.
Hey, Gumo, if you want to come back on the show, you can. I'm just kidding. I really don't hate your guts.
Summur Rayn, Dave lives in Mongolia.
Here you go.
knows.
I'm putting another link up there. That's a special
wait,
link with
Summur,
your
we
name
talked
on
on.
it, Dumo.
I mean, Summur. Well, actually, no. Never mind. She wouldn't know because we used to talk on Facebook, like on and off. Yeah, in the past, but that was before I moved to Mongolia.
Not like that because I was married. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, just like in Facebook comments, in Facebook comments, like. I'm married too.
Yes,
it's okay.
It's great to like talk to you. I see you all the time.
Where do you see him? At the corner
in
store?
the chat.
I never
in the
see
chat on Facebook. Diamond Dave and I go way back.
I see. You mean okay?
Yeah.
It's funny a difference in a generation can make. Because when I say I see you all the time, I think actually running into someone.
No.
What are you drinking some more German beer?
Yeah, it's the same one. I got some Asahi as well.
Yes, when he means the same one, he actually means the same can. This is the same beer.
It's like a Foster's, right? A Foster's.
I don't know. This is only my fourth one. It's fine.
Since the year started.
Today. And we have Alex.
Okay.
Alex.
He really nurses those things.
Tried the bisentinel.
Yes, Alex. What is that? The hang on the it's something because we were talking about the quincentennial, and this is the treaded bicentennial.
Yeah.
Centennial.
So bicentennial is 200. De is of or from, and then tre is 3. So 3 from 200 years.
So you're only 197,
which is the number of years since the restoration of the priesthood.
Oh.
Don't you know your history, RFM? You of all people with a podcast?
Know it. I've lived it.
Lived it.
I don't know recondite Latin though.
Oh, you know.
I mean, how many people have ever used the word treaded bicentennial in the history of the planet, do you think?
Very few.
I think
very
you.
Few. I actually had to look it up to see if it was legit because I spelled it with the TRI, and the DE was I spelled it differently, so I had to look it up.
I love
This
it.
is the first. This word has never been seen before in the history of the galaxy.
I love it.
You can do this kind of wizardry with any number if you try hard enough. So
as long as you don't mind having no friends.
Well, that's true. That's true. I do have that weird, autistic quality of, just being a nerd about very specific things. Yeah.
It might seem that I'm in a bad mood tonight, and if it does, I apologize. My back is out, and it hurts us, and I'm just carrying on and being as professional as I know how to be.
Have a beer.
I was hoping for a blessing.
It helps.
Advil does
to me
help.
with your olive oil.
So is there anything that you guys wanted to talk about that we discussed tonight or anything else?
Yeah.
We can start with Diamond
Well-
Dave.
I jumped in late, so.
Oh, so you're just.
We'll hang on. We'll
The
hang on.
last
chat.
shall be first,
Priesthood-
Diamond Dave.
That
Do you not
works.
know your New Testament?
Do you think I care about the New Testament, good sir?
Well, it favors you in this instance. The last shall be first.
The last shall be
The last
first.
shall be first.
And there's Britty the
Okay.
Apostate. See?
Ooh, Britty's
Britty.
here.
already.
Hey, Brittany.
Hello.
Alex, did you have something you wanted to talk about? And then we can go to Britty.
I think I want to talk about Latin names for years.
This is kind of it's a rough question, but you've alluded to it since you came on and in your previous broadcasts, quote, what is your experience as a Black woman in the church? Because, being in the Catholic world, it's very cosmopolitan. So it's not unusual to see all different, variety of different people.
Right.
The one thing that we have in common is the sacraments and the order which is the Mass. So what was it like for you?
So you're Catholic.
I am now, yes.
Okay. So my mother is from Trinidad. That's why, Laura, when you mentioned your mother, she's from Trinidad. She's an immigrant to the U.S. and she was raised Catholic. My father was raised Southern Baptist. So my mix of Mormonism growing up was a little different because they took a lot of their upbringing, brought it together, and then Mormonism was kind of sprinkled in, if that makes sense. We were not one true church because we had a lot of family that weren't members. So I just want to start with that. My experience was very different than I want to say other experiences were, because I had a mom that was very protective. So
That helps. That helps
if
a lot.
there was a leader that wanted to say something or teach something, she kind of came in and was my advocate before I even heard it, if that makes sense. So I was raised in a bubble within a bubble, is what I call it. Mormonism is a bubble, but I had a bubble within that bubble. It wasn't until I moved to Utah that I had my first experience. And I've talked about this on another podcast, but I was in church with my the person I was dating at the time, fiance, and a little 5-year-old girl turned around and said, "Mommy, there's a Lamanite." And I was so confused. I was so confused because I was Lamanite, that's Native American. I was so confused, but it was the first time this little 4-year-old had ever seen anyone of a darker complexion. And so I'd never had that happen. So yeah, my experience was a good experience. I know those, including really close friends that I grew up with that did not have great experiences. So I kind of like to speak for them, and not for them, but I like to empathize for them, as opposed to saying, I had a great experience and I grew up wonderfully. That doesn't mean that there isn't harm that's happening. So thanks for the question. But yeah, that it wasn't until I moved to Utah till I got a lot of that stuff.
And
if there are Mormons in the chat, do not say that here.
I think your observation about Charlie Bird is spot on. Whenever I see in Reddit somebody on the LDS forum or the Mormon forum who's gay talking about wanting to join the church, I always send them a private message saying, do you really want to join a church that is going to isolate you and follow you around in the building, from the bathroom, here and there, to let them know what they're up against? And I've never gotten a response, or maybe one, but I always warn them, if you really want to go to this church, you're a second-class citizen and you'll never be accepted fully.
Yeah.
That's what I always worry about.
That's why it's dangerous. Yeah, he's a token. That's right. He's a token. And that's dangerous because, other gays are going to see it and they're going to say, oh, if Charlie's treated like that, I will be too. Yeah. And then they get disappointed.
Well,
any thoughts from you, Brady?
What? I'm sorry, what?
Any thoughts from you?
Oh, especially just on the gay topic. I mean, I myself, I would go out with missionaries. I'm an extrovert. So I would go out with missionaries to meet with people, especially people who either themselves struggle with same-sex attraction or knew somebody. I remember one person in particular, she ended up joining the church. I went with her to different missionary discussions. I helped her. We hosted their wedding there. They were basically love bombed into joining the church, and I think they're still in it to this day. And her sister was gay, and I came in to talk about my experience, and I feel so bad about it. I mean, I didn't know until even very recently how much being gay led to me joining the church. It was all about repressing who I was. Even though I wasn't raised Mormon, my parents said being bisexual was a phase. So joining the church was safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just hard listening to these kinds of stories, and watching people join who aren't going to be helped. They're only going to be hurt. It's sad.
I can't help but wonder how many people join legitimately just from the convert angle, because I was a convert, right? And so it's I've discovered that having left the church, joining under the pretense of what would be given to me, right, And a lot of people were kind of in the same boat as I was. I met other influencers and other gamers and other streamers that had big followings too. And they all show, that's why they joined, right? And I can't help but wonder how many people, like Tim was saying, are like legitimately joining because of that, or if they're like wanting to break into like a new market, because that is a thing too. Because from a logical standpoint, from what Summer's saying, from what Birdie's saying, like the average person in their right mind would not, like, who's gay or, for whatever reason, would not join an institution they know is against them unless they think they can get something out of it, is my thinking. And I could be dead wrong, but I just can't help but wonder that.
Well, I think psychology just says that we do things because we feel like we'll get something out of it, right? Everything we do is because we get something in return. I think what Brittany is saying is a good thing to bring up, because love bombing is very effective, right? And especially if you're dealing with your sexuality, or not even sexuality, just not being accepted at school, in your home. That is something that when you have somebody that says, I love you for you, I don't care, that is enough to say, I want to be part of this. The question then becomes, once you are part of it, what happens, right? Do you still get the same love? Do you still get the same consideration? So I do think that you're hitting on something, Diamond. I think you are, for sure. That we all want something. We all do it for a reason. The question is, it could be something as simple as just being loved and accepted, right?
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
And that's the big thing.
Dave, do you remember which podcast we were on that I made the connection between capital and credential? Do you remember? Was it on Mad, or was it later? Was it another one? Well, anyway,
I vaguely remember this. Yeah. I remember.
On another show, I brought up this idea that just came to me, that people join groups because they either get a capital benefit or they receive a credential. Now, in 2009, I was love bombed to the nines by a gaggle of Mormons, and I'm also a homosexual. And they went as far as to try to set me up with a TBM who was also a homosexual.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
And what I was thinking on the comment that I had made, and looking back at that horrible period in my life, because there were a lot more things happening that were out of my control. What I was after was credentials. That's what I was after, because they made all these promises to me, and I had some experience as a church leader, so they probably were going to slot me right into some sort of calling, as it's called in the Mormon tradition, and that would have been my claim to fame. I would have risen, the corporate ladder that way.
Yeah.
Credential, and that would have led to a capital benefit, because Mormons do business with each other.
Yep. That's in my case. In my case, for me, it was both, because I got capital right off the bat, because like the stake president or whoever paid my way out to move to Provo right after I got back to Isaac. Yeah. But there's also the credential of, like, I started off like family-friendly Minecraft streaming, and I was at like 30,000 followers. But the missionaries were watching me on their missions, and there were people at the war.
What the heck? What the heck?
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah,
they're not supposed to be doing that.
They're not supposed to, but they did. And but also too, like, Mormons, like Alex said, do business with other Mormons, and so when you have a family-friendly Mormon video gamer, that's wholesome entertainment for the family. Of course, you're going to tell every other Mormon about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
How else do you think I jumped to 120,000 back then?
Wow.
Like, so for me it was both. But yeah, I definitely agree with that.
It was last Sunday.
Oh, no, go ahead. I finished.
Sorry, Dave. I'm sorry. Sorry, Dave. Alex, it was last Sunday on Latter Daily Digest.
Oh.
Okay.
So Summur Rain, do you see the church as almost using Charlie Bird as a lure to bring in new converts who are going to hopefully be in too deep before they realize that they are an oppressed minority and less likely to leave?
So again, this isn't personal. I'm going to say that. I'm going to keep saying that. I don't give a lot of grace to Charlie as much as other LDS people do, and Exmo and Nevermos. I think that they are mutually benefiting. I recognize tokenism. It's something that I've had to watch out for all my life, right? That people say, oh, she's a woman or she's Black, so let's have her in these spaces, but just these spaces. Working for my father, I do the same thing. I have to make sure that he's not being used for specific spaces, that they actually want to hear his voice. That it's not just,
just the optics.
Exactly. I find people like Charlie, he gets a benefit, and that is fine. That is absolutely fine. But that benefit as being the BYU mascot and a voice for this progressive Mormonism, whatever his lane is, I think that the church is not shutting it down, or has not yet, because it benefits them. But I also think that Charlie is very aware that there are people who are, for less than what he has done, being excommunicated, which is traumatic, and or unaliving themselves, because they are saying that God himself does not accept who he created. God created you, but he doesn't accept this part of you. I don't have grace for that. I don't like bullies, but I also don't like people who make others feel as though they are not worthy. I don't like that. And unfortunately, that's what I see with Charlie. Again, it's not personal. I'm sure he's a nice person, but I do think when you get caught up in an institution and you end up getting privilege within that institution, it's a drug that's hard to get rid of, because he is special. And like I said, you have the other people, right? And so when you, he's special. He is special, and we want to feel special, right? But you have to look at others and see how it's affecting other people and say, is this worth this, what I'm feeling right now? So I don't know if that was rambly, but yeah,
no, it wasn't.
I think it's mutual beneficial. I think they're mutually benefiting from this.
So he's not just a passive participant.
He's not a passive participant, but I want to say, I don't know what Oaks is going to do.
Yeah.
Now they're going to have a kid, but I want to say, for the record, there is another side to that, and it has a lot to do with the more that we point out what's going on and the disparity, the more we're putting Charlie in the crosshairs of the church, making it more obvious what's going on publicly, and the church isn't going to like it, and then they're going to excommunicate him. See, that's the other side of it, right?
That's the other side of it.
That could be. I mean,
he should have been already, because he got married.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Should have
according to the handbook.
According to the handbook, but he hasn't been.
Right.
And that's a fact. And so people talking about it, like us here tonight, regardless of our position on it, bring it more to the attention of the public. The disparity that the church is doing embarrasses the church, makes it more likely they're going to excommunicate Charlie. I'm just saying the other side of it, because I think it's very important that it be said.
Can we put up
Haley's comment?
Yeah.
Yeah, Haley, I wanted to touch on that.
Because that's exactly what I was going to say. I get wanting to live your life, and
is it this one?
No, it's where is it? Charlie put himself in the crosshairs.
Is that what I said?
That he is openly saying he wants to start a family.
Yeah.
That is a big deal. This is not someone who got married and the church left him alone. He takes pictures in front of temple openings all the time. That is not what we're discussing. We are talking about someone who keeps pushing, right?
I know,
Against
and I know it can be seen that way, and I understand exactly what you're saying. I'm just saying that on the other side of it, if it weren't for all of this context and everything else that's going on, that's swirling about, that two people who are married, who want to have a baby to raise, would not seem that remarkable.
Can I add the two other attributes?
In other
that
words,
most people avoid?
it's perfectly understandable that
I'll
that would
go after
part of-
Alex. I'll go after Alex because
I'm just saying that it's perfectly understandable that two people would want to do that regardless, and separate and apart from them trying to push the church into doing something. Okay, Alex, go ahead.
I'm very thankful that I grew up in a cult. It was wacky, weird, unusual, all that really terrible stuff. But it was never racist, and it was never homophobic. You know, one of my uncles lived his life in our cult as a woman.
You're talking about the Seventh-day Adventists, right?
No, I'm talking about the Gnostic cult that I was raised in.
Okay.
But I'm making that distinction now because you only have to look at history for a high demand group such as the LDS Church and its entire movement to understand the two qualifications that are somehow permitting Charlie's tokenization to continue. One, he's rich, and two, he's white. Now look carefully at any other potential examples concerning this scenario, and would they play out if it was a rich white woman who was married to another woman, or if it was any other ethnic group or person, party, body type, phenology, whatever. I think we're very careful not to say that out loud, I've noticed. And even when other people talk about it, they don't bring up that Charlie is rich and Charlie is white. Charlie comes from a rich family that's embedded in the Mormon infrastructure, and they all happen to be white men. So...
And that's a really good point, because I've wondered why David Archuleta didn't get the same treatment, right? He has celebrity as well.
I don't want to make it all about those two attributes, but I think they should be part
He's
of
Hispanic.
the conversation.
David Archuleta is.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying.
Also Tyler Glenn from Neon Trees. RFM mentioned a bunch last week, I think, if I remember right.
Did I?
RFM does not remember that.
Day to day. My question is about, I'm sorry, about Mr. Archuleta. Did he quit? Was he excommunicated? I'm sorry, I don't actually know.
He just quit.
He was exed. Yeah, he just left. He left the church. Yeah, but
I don't
so
think
not
he
an
was
exact
excommunicated.
comparison then.
He's still registered, but he hasn't withdrawn. But he doesn't go to church. He's in the Catholic world, we would say non-practical. He's not practicing.
What I'm saying is that he was not excommunicated for being homosexual.
No.
he was not excommunicated, but he was told by, I don't remember which apostle it was.
Ballard.
To marry
He was the
a
mover and
woman.
the shaker. You wouldn't know it to look at him. But he was doing everything behind the scenes. All the second anointings, he was everywhere.
But he was told to marry a woman and decided not to. And so I've always wondered what the discrepancy is, because, you know, he was wealthy. He, you know, had a name, bigger name than Charlie Bird. And they told him that he had to go a different direction. But yeah, RFM, I've gotta push back on that, on the.
And you can. I just think it's important
their
that
life.
different sides be represented at the table.
No, I get that they want to live their life, and I think everybody should. I'm a very live, let live person, as long as you're not affecting other people. But it is difficult to say I want to live this life within. But I'm also going to be a representative of something that is not real, of what I'm saying it represents. That's where I have a really hard time with, because, you know, if you want to live your life and all that, that is fantastic. I hope that they are able to do everything that they want to do, but don't pose in front of the temple, LDS temple, and make it seem like this is acceptable, because it's not.
Well, and that's
people will be hurt.
Yeah, that's my point to back Summur, because I agree with her. And this comes from like a content creation perspective. I have no respect for Charlie Bird because he is I hate him with a passion. And here's why, is because Summur brought this up originally, and this is an integrity thing, and this is very big in the content creation scene. Charlie Bird cannot claim he doesn't know what the church does to gay people. He cannot claim he does not know that they unalive themselves, that they're excommunicated, that they are shunned, that all these bad things happen. He knows this. He promotes it anyway. He profits off of it, and he has been doing this consistently and will not stop. That is entirely intentional. He's profiting entirely off of the suffering of others. Call it, I mean, people can say what they want. That's what he's doing. He knows it. His house is paid by it, and he's living in luxury, while in Salt Lake City, there are LGBTQ youth that are homeless, that are struggling, that are unaliving themselves, looking to him, wanting to be like him, but they can't because they have no shot.
Yeah.
That's a really bold claim, Dave.
Yeah.
But if it's also his... If
Go ahead
it's also his connection to God, it might not just be the prophet. What if it's his connection to God?
But that's the thing,
that's
is
where
the
I
question,
get hung up a little bit.
The question is, again, if it's his connection to God, that is something that we, cannot discuss, right? Because that is his personal journey. But I guess the question that Dave brings up
exactly
is with the content, when you turn that testimony or whatever into content, knowing that the doctrine doesn't back it up. And that's where I see clout chaser as well, where he knows
exactly
the doctrine.
I mean, this is not a case like, I mean, I've met other content creators who left the church. They legitimately did not know. They joined the church, they were excited, they were love bombed, they found out, they dropped it, they left, they did a public apology. I understand that. And I didn't even know when I initially joined. I had my own issues. I cut ties right away. Right. And it's, what do you do when you know? That's ultimately what it boils down to. And he made his choice, and that's his choice to make. Fine. But in my opinion, and I'm going to be as respectful as I can when I push back here, I don't think a connection to God matters. It's irrelevant in this case, because his connection to God does not play any impact on his choice to profit off of the suffering of others. Those are two separate things, in my opinion.
I can see that. Yeah.
Anybody want to respond to that? Did you want to say anything, Alex, other than that's a bold claim?
Dave may be right, but I'm just concerned for everyone who believed that this high demand, high control group is reforming itself. When you only have to look a few years into the past of this institution to realize or come to understand exactly what's going to come next. All it's going to take is one mistake and one unfavorable opinion from somebody in the hierarchy, and it's over. So whatever schema...
I'm sorry, Alex, can you give me an example of that so I can understand better what you're saying? What would that look like?
Charlie Bird will be excommunicated at one point because he and or his husband are going to make a mistake. They're going to make a doctrinal claim. The people who are the TBMs, the ones that are the conservatives, the traditionalists, are usually pretty quiet. They will then speak up because they now have enough leverage to say, aha, look at this person going against our doctrine. Here's the citations in the Doctrine and Covenants. Here's the citations in the Pearl Great Prize. Here's the citations in the Old and New Testament.
And the handbook.
It'll be an excuse.
The handbook is the way the church is run. Forget about the scriptures.
So, I have been doing a lot of research on the September 6th. And they got away with a lot. They pushed the envelope, but they only had to look backwards to see what was going to come next. They pushed too far. Some could argue. Some would say
especially
that they were
under Benson.
Right. And then poof, they were gone.
Well, that's what my question is.
Yeah,
is,
but regardless
is
of
that
their
this?
regardless of their credentials and regardless of the amount of capital they've acquired or amassed within the institution,
They were expendable in the end.
Exactly, because
everyone's expendable. Everyone's expendable, and the reality is it's only a matter of time. And to Alex's point, in my opinion, it reinforces my belief that makes it worse because he's expendable. He's one of these people that will be torched, and he's doing it anyway.
And I feel bad.
Worse.
I feel
Well,
terrible because
it's just like Caitlyn Jenner right now. She's wondering why her passport says M on it. And I'm like, you know what, bitch? You dug pardon my language, but she dug herself that hole. Politics aside, she made her bed. And that is something that I do have a concern about is Charlie Bird making the church seem safe to trans people?
Well, of course
because
he
the
is.
church
That's why
is,
the church is using him for that effect. I mean,
I get gays, but trans people are not gay.
The church is getting its back scratched all over the place on this. Otherwise, they
The
wouldn't be committing.
church is so against trans people. Gay people have it good comparatively. Their recent trans policy is horrible. Following them to the bathroom, no assignment with children. Yeah, I grew up. All gays are pedophiles. Or P words. That's how I grew up. I babysat kids who told me that their dad said to call us Fs because that was what we were. You know, I mean, I grew up with that. Not at home, but in the outside world. The trans community is getting it harder than anybody in the gay community right now within the church.
Oh, the country.
Yeah.
Not just the church, the country.
No, the Hispanic community is getting it pretty hard.
Okay.
Well, that's the question, though. Going back to what Alex was saying, is this pushing it too far? We are now under President Oaks. This is a different, a whole different change of guard. So that's the question.
I'm going to say no on that one. I don't think it's this yet. I think it's going to come down the line. And the simple thing is, Oaks is retrenching on conservative values.
Yes.
Yes, he is.
However, Oaks is a tactician. He is by no means stupid. He's going to use people like Charlie Bird for as long as, I mean, it's a playbook, right? There's a whole strategy behind it because someone brought this up earlier. People are expendable in the church, right? So to Oaks, people are assets, even the conservative members, right? So how viable said asset is depends on what they do and what they do for the church specifically, like Alex was saying. Since Charlie Bird is towing the line, yeah, he might be, pushing it a little bit, but there's going to be, in my personal opinion, a little bit of leeway. Simply because Charlie Bird is how many millions of followers, and he's bringing in money. He pays tithe.
RFM, will you put up that quote again, please?
It makes the church look good.
Yeah, he's a net positive. Oh my God. He's overall he's a net positive for the church at this time. Once he becomes neutral, then they're going to look at him, and then once he's a net negative, he's gone.
And it's the same with all of us, actually.
Yeah.
I want to hear, Alex was going to talk about why he feels bad for Charlie. You were going to finish that. So I did want to hear,
So who was the one that lifted the ban on the Black Priesthood?
Hinckley.
Kimball.
Kimball.
Spencer Kimball, yeah.
But he had to wait till
he had to
Brazil.
till what's his
Packer
face was in the hot
and Benson.
No, not Packer.
My favorite apostle.
Mark, remember?
Mark Peterson,
Marky Peterson
and somebody else. I think it was Stapley. Were out of the country. Peterson was in the hospital, and
he sent them
It
out.
wasn't Benson.
It was not an apostle.
No, it was Marky Peterson.
And somebody else.
Out.
There were two.
There were two.
I don't remember who the second one was, but
what I'm getting at is the prophet of the church, the president of the church that facilitated that change, he didn't do it unilaterally. He had to build consensus over many years, and even then he and his allies had to resort to subterfuge to get it over the finish line.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
I keep saying that Oakes is, not long for this world. I mean, the guy is, 108? Eyring is about 304. He's still, he's going to cry himself
on a good day
to the next kingdom.
A good day.
And I adore them both. So that we should respect them. They've put in the work. We don't like them very much. We understand that, but I mean, they're old timers, they're elders. We should respect what they do and their achievements. However,
respect what they do.
However, Uchtdorf cannot make any unilateral liberalist changes. He's going to have to build consensus, and that means some issues he's going to have to compromise on, and one of those is going to be gay marriage. He's going to drop it because he wants to accomplish something else. Perhaps maybe additional rights for women, not necessarily as priests or elders,
Right.
but maybe as vicars. You can do everything, essentially deacons, but with more privileges.
Yeah.
The old timers are not going to allow him to do both. They're going to say you can pick one.
Old timer, isn't he the oldest timer of all? Isn't that the
Yeah.
deal with being the president?
Right. But there's others that are in the church as him.
Oakes has a grandson that's gay, and he will not even acknowledge him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that.
Well, and so
I think we need to give. I just want to say, go ahead, finish your thought there. Alex, because you talked about how we need to be respectful of these guys, and you mentioned Henry Eyring specifically.
Oh,
This was
Rebecca.
a long time ago when I actually made Rebecca Biblioteca crack up involuntarily on the newscast, and she couldn't stop laughing. This was many months ago when I talked about Henry B. Eyring, and I'm saying just because of he looks like Goofy the Disney character. And she just started laughing. So I sent her this as a text. This is the newscast text. You can see it's a group text, me, Bill, and Rebecca. I said, you were going to make it until Bill did the rim shot. And it's true. She was. And then she died. So I sent her this picture. Here's Henry B. Eyring. And there's a picture of Goofy. And look, they're kind of in a similar pose. And she said, now I can't stop laughing again. But then she's very talented. She's much more talented than I. So here's the picture, right, of Henry B. Eyring, and she took.
Nice.
She did that. That's before and after. Before and after.
I wanna address Alex's point whenever it's convenient.
You go ahead, and this we're going to wind it down now as you address that point.
Wait,
So
who are them? I thought
What?
we were doing. We
What?
were going to go in solidarity with John DeLynn and make this till midnight.
No.
No?
Solidarity with Mormon story.
I thought we were standing with John. This was the Stand with John podcast, and we were going to do 6 hours.
No.
No?
So
I don't stand with John that much. I don't stand with anybody that much. Diamond Dave, did you want to say something?
Yeah, so to Alex's point, we talked about this before, but I mean, this we keep coming up on this, which I think we're hitting the core issue. The rubber's going to meet the road here. Uchtdorf, Alex brought up, Uchtdorf can't make unilateral changes on gay marriage. He has to build consensus. Now, let's say he does that. The question I have is, how does he implement it? Because the Mormon Church has structured it as a universal church. I've said it before, and I said it again. If gay temple sealings happen, it would be global. Except here in Mongolia, as well as other countries, they would be shut down by the government because it is illegal. It is not recognized. You cannot do this even if you're a religion. So, I don't, I'm genuinely, and this isn't just this is more me just kind of asking the chat and asking you guys what you think will happen, because the church has trying to split itself so much, trying to appeal to both the conservatives and the liberals. It has to pick a side, but there are massive consequences that will hurt the church if it picks either side.
They could get sealed in the temple if they didn't get married legitimately.
Well, I think that it goes down to there's one thing that can be changed, right? They went back on polygamy, they lost members. They went back on the priesthood ban, they lost members.
Yeah.
But there is something fundamental about gender that just the whole church hinges on that. And I think before we even talk about universally it happening, I don't see how they turn around and say gay marriage is okay.
Well,
And
the bottom line is when they donate more money than anybody else or a substantial amount, then it will change. Things only change when the bottom line changes. That's the way
when
the
they get
church is
publicly
run.
embarrassed.
Well, that too.
But
How long do you think Oaks is going to last? I mean, do you see another year in him? Not to be macabre, but
He just had a hip
another few
operation.
years.
He just had a hip
another
operation.
few.
I could see another few because I mean Nelson went for a while, and they have really good health care. They have their own team of physicians.
Nelson looked good up until his 99th and a half, though. Oaks is already looking pretty rough. His mobility's down.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, he's you know that is a factor, but that's not the only factor. And
You're
I
right.
mean, my mother. I'm just gonna say this. My mother looks rough. She's had breast cancer 3 times. I guarantee you, she's so stubborn. She will outlive all of you, including me. Right? Like, so I can see Oaks going for a few years.
I think the question is what kind of damage can be done in a short amount of time? Because
I think
honestly,
we've seen that.
I mean,
Well, he's already doing that. He's
he was
already started
in
that.
October, and he filed the suit against Mormon Stories in November. So this is someone who isn't going to just kind of sit back. I think there's going to be things that are moving quickly.
He did it right after General Conference.
Alex, you mentioned compromise within the 15 on the priesthood and temple ban. I think the church. I think the church has changed. Really quickly, I think the church has changed. I don't think compromises is necessary. I think people get in line. I think it's followed the prophet now more than it was back then. I don't think you have nearly as many dynamic people. I think you have people towing the line, following what the upper echelons say. I don't think they're going to have to compromise as much as you think they will to achieve conservative agendas. Uchtdorf's going to get nothing done.
The proclamation is the constitution of the church. Period. End of discussion. That's what they're going to follow.
And that's Oaks, baby.
And that's Oaks. That's right.
Tim considers the matter closed.
Well,
so Alex was going to say something.
So my question was, you guys are awesome. My question was, which one of the big liberal wants or demands are going to be officiated?
None of them.
Women have more privileges in ministry.
I think women having more
privileges.
Yeah.
Gay and lesbian men.
I think
they're going to have
having
small
more
gains for women.
Privileges. Yeah, I think
they're going to do. They're going to do
Sunday
women
school
with more
teachers.
privileges because they're already doing that now. And typically, with what we've been seeing with the Mormon Church, is they start off small and they just kind of like add to it, so they give more and more. Consistently. And so, since they recently like gave a couple more like privileges to women, I can think of at least 2. There might have been 3. Right? We see a pattern, and that pattern is typically the direction that they're going to go. I don't see them doing like gay marriage anytime soon because, again, the church is global. Most of the members are outside of the U.S. and not within the U.S. And you're dealing not with just governments, but you're dealing with local culture. The government here, as well as other parts of Asia, is more tolerant of the LGBTQ. The average person living here is not. They are very much against it. So if they were to go gay marriage, I guarantee you, at least here in Ulaanbaatar, everyone would leave on the spot, hands down.
Yeah. I think women getting more privileges will be the next step, and I think that they'll just start calling it something different, like they did the young women.
Well, you can be.
There's no way they'll get the priesthood,
Sunday
though.
school president. So, what more do you want?
Yeah, they won't say priesthood, right? They'll
exactly.
They'll
do what they did with.
But it will always be inferior. It'll always be inferior to the priesthood.
It has to be because, again, the core doctrine cannot.
Is the gender.
I know doctrine keeps changing, but there's just certain things that keep, there's certain cores, and women getting the priesthood and being equal to men, that will demolish. I mean, that would be like saying the Book of Mormon actually isn't historic, right? There's certain things you can't say and do. But Tim, I will say, I spoke to a believing member recently about the family proclamation, and they asked me if that, they said they don't see that, they think that it is prophetic, but it is not scripture.
Well, that's
so
true.
that
Not
is
yet,
where-
anyway. Not yet.
But what I'm
That's
saying
a good
is
distinction.
that they will constantly say that wasn't canonized, that's not scripture, and we can always go back on it. So just to let you know, it is still being put out there that, you know, I don't know about the family proclamation. Just like
Well,
I
wait
don't
till
know if
October when
God
President
has
Oaks
that
puts it up for canonization.
Here's what I think is going to happen. I think that in order to get more privileges for women, like the Relief Society autonomy and a few other deliverables for women in ministry, I think that the Family Proclamation is going to be officiated as Official Declaration 3.
Probably.
Once that's done, then Uchtdorf and whoever comes after him can do whatever they want with giving additional privileges to women. Frame it however they want to, and the TBMs will go along with it.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's for whatever reason, it's the gays. They're so afraid of the gays.
They're afraid of transsexuals the most, though.
They look at it like a virus.
Mm-hmm.
That's
catch the gay.
That's exactly how they look at it. That's
I'm
what
gonna
there's a
Oaks.
virus, and then it
Oaks
comes
in
in.
particular. Or Brittany, like you experienced, it's a phase. It's not real. And that's, honest to God, a kinder way than saying your spawn is Satan, which is really sad. So invalidating who you are or telling you that you're a demonic, like, hell spawn. It's pitiful choices.
Laura, the way you say it, it is so 1950s. Oh my God, it is so amazing.
Still like. I live in the West Coast in California, and it's still like that. I was closeted long enough to hear the most racist, homophobic crap from people who didn't know I was Mexican because I looked so white, who didn't know I was gay because I wasn't out. You'd be surprised in San Jose and Silicon Valley how backwards people are.
Yeah. Go, Brittany, go.
Not to mention Bakersfield, right, Tim?
Oh, dear God.
Right. 52% of the population is Hispanic here or more. Yes.
Oh, I was talking about backwards. But okay.
Backwards?
Yeah, that doesn't equate to backwards. Tim, you spoiled it.
Brady, you
Hey, everybody, I'm about to call this.
What?
Anybody got any itch that you've got to scratch before we go?
Brady.
Oh, I'm just sitting over here thinking about new names for the priesthood version of women. You know how like the young women got like gatherers of light?
Yeah.
Like
Messengers of hope.
makers of home. I don't
Bearers
know.
of children.
What
Bearers of
beautiful
children.
terms could we get?
Children.
God damn.
You women always get the best names.
Subscribe to my
Rose of
YouTube. I got
fecundity.
more.
Flowers of Opening. Let's see.
It's to Georgia O'Keeffe.
May the Lord open.
The labyrinths of Christ.
Oh, wow.
Oh, whoa.
That's not suggestive.
Whoa.
The Tenders of Nursery.
Before you blame me for that one, labyrinth. I actually got that from Graham Norton.
Oh, that makes it
guys
so much better. Thank you. Yeah, now we're just all going to
Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I got more of these.
Okay, everybody, I'm going to let you go, but first I'm going to put this up on the stage to let you know what RFM is going to be looking like tomorrow night. They didn't tell me about this. What is this, you ask? You're going to have to watch to find out. Something's come to my attention the past couple of weeks. I'm not really happy about it. Mormonism still continues to have the ability to disappoint me after all these years. Still disappointed after all these years. I think Paul Simon did.
Oh, I love her.
And guess what's going to happen on Wednesday?
Fantastic. She had a great Mormon stories.
Megan.
Generally unquotable. Wouldn't you have a Mormon stories?
She just had one last week.
Are you kidding me? I'm canceling with her. We'll
No, her and her sister.
Yeah, her and her
That's
sister.
right. That's right. I didn't think of that as her because it was her sister.
She needs all the exposure she can get, and you guys aren't Mormon stories. It's not
You
going to be
got
the same thing at all.
No, it's going
It's gonna
to
be
as the
completely
slide would
new.
suggest, it's going to be wild and crazy. It's fun. It's like a pool party.
Is it like a Q&A
She's
or something?
wonderful.
She's very. I have met her actually. I met her down at.
We met her at Thrive.
At Thrive, she stood around and talked with everybody after your show.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
It's like you're correcting me when this is what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, you were so jealous that she went to John first instead of you, like she was your friend or something.
Well, yes, I'm always jealous when people go to John first instead of me, which is this whole shtick I'm doing about she just went on Mormon Stories, and I'll have to reschedule for next year.
Is that why we're not going until midnight tonight?
Right.
We're not. We shouldn't have gone this long. My back. My back is singing.
Okay, RFM.
I'm talking about 3 octave range on my back.
Go get.
RFM, take a lot of Advil. I have back problems too. Yeah, the Advil helps so much.
Drink alcohol. It works.
Like immediately, Alex, the trilobite. Where's the troglodyte?
Oh my god.
Troglodyte centennial.
This is the man
Ice
that
your back, RFM.
Yeah, he mispronounced my name for 3 months before he realized, oh, it's Alex. Yeah.
I didn't understand, but Malox, that's such a cool name. It's either Malox or Matlock.
Grandpa
Simpson. I'm going to do the
Simpson.
outro now, and then I'm going to hobble out of here. It's going to take me quite a while just to stand up.
Summur Rayn, it was awesome seeing you.
Thank you,
Thank you
Summur
for coming
Rayn.
on
Thank
and
you for
having
our
us,
fans.
guys.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, it was good to
Good
finally
night.
meet you in person after 3 years of talking to you on Facebook.
Here's the deal, Diamond Dave. This isn't in person. I hate to correct.
Well,
Oh, we're already friends on Facebook, Summur. So thank you for approving that. I appreciate it.
Boy, that back's really killing you, isn't it, RFM?
No kidding. Yes.
RFM, I'll send you some Tylenol 3.
Thank you.
That's
four
not
if you want
legal,
four.
Tim. Not through the mail.
Oh,
I'll be taking.
Oh, before everybody leaves, make sure you hit the like button. Let's get
Yes, hit the like button.
Like, share, and
Last minute
subscribe.
super chats. Open up your wallets. Donate money now. Get it done quick.
And if this
Yes,
goes
thank
really
you.
well, maybe RFM will bring me back.
Let me know if you never want to.
I
If
hope
you,
so.
if you like Summur, if you never want to see her again, just let us know.
There's that back talking.
There we go again. There we go again.
I'm going to try and hit the right outro here and see if it works. But everybody, do hit like, do hit subscribe. Let us know what you thought about Summur. It's a rotating position. Not always going to have a co-host. Although I've got to tell you tonight, I really appreciated it. And that's coming straight from the back, Summur.
It was great tonight. And it was great because it was Summur Rayn, not just a co-host. It was great because
That's
of
right.
who you have.
Thank you
That's
guys.
right.
And thanks
Yes.
for calling in. Thanks for the live chats. You guys are amazing. And Debbie, please come back.
Oh,
Yes.
Sober though.
So good
Sober.
night, everybody, and have a great weekend.
Tim knows
I'll
all
see you
about
tomorrow night
Debbie.
in the live chat for
Boy, do I know about
It'll be a
Debbie.
lot of fun. Good night,
Bye,
everybody.
guys. Thank you.
bye, guys.
Bye.
Oh my goodness, what a show!
That's great.
Are you there? Who's still here?
Yeah, we're still here. I just don't see anybody's faces.
We're still
Oh,
live
boy.
too.
We're
No,
still
we're not.
live.
Yes.
Oh.
No. Are we?
Yep. It still says live above.
Oh, yep, it sure does.
Oh, it's we're still live. Oh, hey everybody, donate now. Donate now. Like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. Give us all your money.
RFM doesn't know.
We're still live.
Okay. Are we now?
No, nope. Still live.
Yeah, that's great. So we're still live, everybody. Now you get to listen to us just talk and gossip about RFM, who's not here. Apparently, you can't see our faces, but this is David Dave. Yes, I'm the new host of Mormonism After Dark. How's everybody doing?
Fine. Are we gonna go
now?
Are we gonna go till midnight?
No. See, here's the thing. It's gonna keep going. So how StreamYard works, ladies and gentlemen, is it's gonna keep going live until all of us leave. As long as there's one person here in the chat, it's going to be live. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It is 11:59 a.m., which means it's my afternoon. So we're gonna be here a while. You get to put up with
I think we should all leave.
Can we still call into the stream? I mean, technically you can, because it's live and the link is still valid, as my understanding of StreamYards goes. So yeah, call on in. Make sure you hit that like and please share this. Summur Rayn is phenomenal, and the conversation today is phenomenal. You guys are amazing. I am so glad to be a part of this community. I know you guys thought I was a troll when I first came here, but thank you so much for accepting me. Tim, you're also amazing. Who else is here?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, who else is here? Out of curiosity, is there anyone else in the back, or is it just us two?
I think it's just us two.
Oh my goodness, it's just us two. Well, RFM, my good sir, you're gonna make some money today, ladies and gentlemen. Peter Higgs. I think Peter Higgs wants to do a super chat. All right. Joking aside, all joking aside, what should we talk about here? Because I mean, we got to entertain.
I think we should go. We're on their channel. We're on their channel.
Yeah, but we could help them out and like actually make them money.
Okay, donate money. No, I would need money. No. Donate to me so I can go on the cruise. Okay.
Yeah, donate.
Well,
here's the thing,
Tim.
Have a
GoFundMe.
I would leave, but RFM didn't close down properly. So while it is their channel, it's not technically our fault, right? I love RFM, but this is like, maybe we just keep this going for a little bit and just chat with people and build the community and see what happens. I mean,
oh boy.
Nobody in the chat has left. Everyone is still here.
Really?
Like, yeah. Are you reading the chat? Like, click on the comments. People are still chatting. Some guy out there. Yojan, Scab, Dave E, Brownie. We've got Lavender.
Oh my God! I can see. I need to take care of something. I need to take something, and I need to do something real quick. But I'll be right back. Okay.
Okay, well, I guess, all right. So, I mean, generally, Unquotable is here. I stumbled upon your channel a little bit ago. You're amazing. Awesome. I love your channel. I think I subscribed. I'm going to double check on that. Lopsided Leahona, welcome to the chat. Philip says don't go over 12 hours. I can't guarantee that. This could turn into, I mean, Summur Rayn, what was Summur Rayn talking about? Does anyone know with the Stand with John Dehlin chat? Go ahead, let me know in the chat what you guys think. But Jojo, yeah, give me the name. Yo, everybody. Yeah, give me the name. I think I might remember. I don't know. I'm on different podcasts. I have been left unsupervised, but I promise I'm going to behave because, as Tim said, this is not my channel, but I do like RFM and I do like Bill. And I want to at least help them out. So if we can think of something, and it sounds like Tim is back, but maybe if we all in the chat can just think of something so we can help out Bill and RFM. Because even though Bill
are we still live? Are we still live?
We are still live, good sir. And what I'm talking about right now is I want to do something right now for this like little after show thing. I don't know what's going on, but I want to help out Bill and RFM because, I mean, even though Bill's not part of Mormonism After Dark, I like Bill. Bill's a decent guy. Same with RFM. So, I mean, yes. I don't want to beg for money, but I mean, if you guys like